Wetlands, a geological area saturated with water that manages water purification, flood control, and exists as a biologically diverse home for millions of organisms. If wetlands did not exist, Pacific tree frogs, finches, and many other wildlife would disappear from the earth. Canada has 1.5 million square kilometers of wetlands, the most in the world. Since the 1800s, 15% of wetlands in Canada have been lost due to land development. The overuse of water quickly drains the aquifers of fresh water that is crucial to the surrounding sites.
Wetlands are extracted of their natural water and developed for agricultural use. Many species that cannot survive in other environments are displaced by this process. Some of the few wetlands that are left are battling the threat of invasive species. Aggressive foreign plants and animals push local species into extinction by absorbing all of the precious resources.
7 years ago, locals in the Haliburton area observed a wetland hanging onto life. Invasive species such as Himalayan blackberry, canary grass, and orchard grass infested the area, and water would not absorb correctly into the wetland.
Dr. Purnima Govindarajulu started the Haliburton Wetland Restoration Project. She and a team of scientists have been working diligently to restore the wetlands. Originally, this vast area had been an ideal sanctuary for species like Pacific tree frogs and wandering salamanders. However, human development, hydrology, and invasive species have been destroying the wetlands. Neighboring properties have been dumping their yard waste into the delicate habitat, and many native organisms have been forced out by invasive species.
So this wetland looked just like a field that was overgrown with blue canary grass, which is this invasive grass that we've been pulling. So it was just a field. It had water for some parts of the year, so it was more like this, but it dried up by the end of May. What contributed to the disappearance of the wetland is mostly agriculture. Soil under a wetland is very rich, so when agriculture moves in, they try to drain the wetland so they can then plant on this rich soil of the wetland for really good crops. So we had to first test the soil, make the plans, write grants for money that would pay for none of us get paid for the actual labor, but we need materials.
Originally, the Claremont Global Studies class decided to take on the task of helping the local farmers and scientists restore the wetland. For years, the Global Studies class got knee-deep in muddy waters, tore out the invasive weeds, and helped to restore the wetlands closer to its original state. This year, the IGS class has worked on incorporating a chip trail into the wetland so that it is accessible in the winter months when the land is filled with water. The Global Solutions class has been involved in field studies that have educated the class on soil, native flora and fauna, invasive species, and about the importance of a wetland to our community and coastal biome.
The future classes of the Institute for Global Solutions will aim to support the goals of this wetland. The scientists at the wetland aim to exterminate invasive species and include wildlife to create a habitat for local species. The support from the community through donations and volunteer work is needed to keep this crucial factor of our ecosystem alive.